Hello, everyone. Welcome back to TRI's Crypto Countdown. TRI's Top 100 Crypto Review, and whatever name you feel like calling it. A lot of fun, just chit-chatting away. Talking crypto. A few guys from the Rational Investor site. And actually, it's kind of a fun adventure. We're on episode 31 here. I couldn't believe how long we've been marching away here. I guess basically since about late spring, maybe early summer, we've been doing these shows. It's been fun to sort of walk through the crypto bull and bear swings here over the past 6-8 months. So here we are. We got another episode. It's a little past 6 o'clock on the West Coast. I do notice that we don't have that many live people. Well, probably within about 15-20 minutes, other people might stumble in. Hello. Who do we have here? Oh, Ben, you're on here twice, eh? Okay. Somebody just joined the hangout, and it's like, well, I already know all the three boys are here. Speaking of which, so actually one of the boys is here twice. So speaking of which, Ben, which one of the Bens wants to say hello here tonight? How you doing, sir?
I'm great. I'm doing well. I was so pumped to be here. I thought I'd come on twice. So.
Oh, you're awesome, dude. You're awesome. Still wearing a toque though, so it's still that chilly in Florida, eh?
Yeah, I got the heater going underneath me, and
oh, remarkable. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, I suppose we might be needing to huddle around the fire, get warm. Actually, geez, what's it like in well, let's check in with our next cohort. Why don't we work up the Eastern Seaboard? Derek, how are you doing here this evening? Reporting in from the great state of Maryland.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I was looking at my portfolio, feeling a little bit sad though.
Oh yeah. Well, that's good.
But other than that, I'm doing well. Everything's going well.
Yeah, I would imagine risk takers right now are probably feeling a little bit tough. If anything, it's fascinating. It's like the whole bubble is sort of deflating here. So I guess what I would just simply say is it's crypto fans, you're not alone. Crypto I think is probably another one of these risk assets. And it's like grandpa and grandma. I don't know. Would Powell I guess with that hair? Would you consider him grandfather? It'd be interesting, Derek. If your kids look at him, would they consider him like a really old man? Maybe.
For sure.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
So. Yeah. Well, they still think I'm young, so I think they would think he's old. So.
Right on. Yeah. So anyway, definitely grandma. She definitely looks old. But they're taking the punch bowl away, eh?
Sure. Yeah, it sounds like it.
And man, everything's
feels
off.
like it too.
Anyway, so good to have you on the call here tonight, and reporting in from balmy Minnesota. Can we say balmy? Is that a right word?
I mean, you can say it. It is a word.
All right. Hello, Nick. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, right on. Okay, cool. We should have a fun adventure tonight. I thought, if anything, we should probably note right off the bat that Nick actually won our contest most recently, our call last week, as, of course, the Bitcoin price, as you can see, I think that's what I'm showing on YouTube. Yeah, the Bitcoin price itself has come off here a chunk. And Nick was actually the only one who had a bearish vote here this past week. So way to go, Nick. You knocked the cover off the ball there. Was that intentional, or was that do we have kind of a backwards proxy on that vote?
It's kind of like poker. Like if you don't call, you don't have to show your cards. You just kind of push them back to the dealer. So we'll go with that.
All right, that's cool. Anyway, as you can see, market did get smoked here this past week. And what's fascinating is actually coming out of the show last week, I was actually feeling quite uppy. And there was a cute little long setup that actually even went up and hit its profit objective. And then all of a sudden, all hell broke loose. So, if anything, all three of us being bullish here, Ben, Derek, we all sort of went down with the ship together, right? Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that, gentlemen. Derek, Ben, you want to comment on our horrendous call? Either of you two going to join me in owning up to calling the market backwards?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. It was terrible, and that was an excellent call from Nick. It was
There
very
you go.
decisive on that win.
Very much
14%.
so,
That's
Yeah.
a pretty good one.
Nice job, dude.
I did notice that's the first negative two we've ever had
Could be,
on the
yeah.
entire thing.
That's interesting.
I
Yeah.
wonder,
no,
well...
No, sorry, that we have predicted.
Oh, okay.
Not
Yeah.
like there's obviously there's been a few that have been red on our thing, but it's the first time anyone's actually, whether it was fake bearishness or not, it's the first time anyone's ever voted a negative two.
Oh, this is such a mess. But where did we start this show? I guess we started it back right around here, was it? Did we? I think we started it after the market was breaking. Because you remember the first few episodes that we did? It was sort of like, oh, you can't buy that. You got to wait for the reload zone. And then I do remember we did like the shows all through this bull run. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looks like June 9th might have been our first.
Yeah, that would make sense. So we were pretty close to the bottom, but not quite.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, this looks awfully messy. So I was kind of hoping that actually didn't have too much on it. Oh, here's a good one. Let's look at this. So we haven't seen actually. I guess there was this week. So I guess this week was pretty darn. Actually, it'd be just interesting to do a price range. If we just go say range top to bottom, 33%. That's a pretty dramatic swing. And this swing was 41%. So we've had one other swing here that's been as violent. So, but we didn't. None of us, I guess, called that. Then we had some pullback here. Yeah, I do remember. Because I remember this is where I moved, and I remember I was bitching about how I moved manually, so I was totally distracted and I missed this really nice long trade. I do remember that. But I don't remember there being like a huge sort of negative down days. Like what I just noticed here recently is, and maybe the DeFi names and the other part of crypto has come off even more. But I have felt like the market has really taken a punch in the gut here past few weeks. I don't know. Did you guys notice that in DeFi? Where's all our DeFi stuff?
Yeah, everything is crushed.
Yeah, so here's a nice little spread of all these markets. We used to have actually an index that we followed on Binance. Our site members used to make up. But anyway, there's Bitcoin. There's the DeFi. I wonder what kind of... Interesting to see what kind of percentages we're talking here now. That sure was a big move up, eh? Do you guys ever get to know Farmer Dave on the site? Ooh, he made a bucket load through all that. That was really fun watching those guys all go crazy through that. I guess this cycle, this was the Luna. Did any of you guys have the opportunity to participate in that Luna trade?
No, I was lazy on that one. I remember we were kind of waiting for at some point waiting for it getting the reload zone or something, and I missed it for maybe like $6 or something. I forget what it was. It was still single digit, I believe.
Supposedly this is where Danny came to life, eh? All through here, right? And time and all that kind of fun stuff. Eh? So a little bit of a tough looking chart, I'll tell you that much. I bet you they're I mean, actually, I don't want to bet. What I want to ask is, you guys are so good, especially Nick. I seem well, and actually, you each respectively like your own networks and ideas, eh? So, I think you're kind of. Are you fairly closely tied into the DeFi pulse, guys? Wait, Nick, I think you are, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
The Cosmo is that part of the DeFi?
Yep, I like Cosmos a lot. That is definitely DeFi. A lot of the stuff you do on there.
All right. I know. What's the one that you like, Derek? It's Rune or something like that, isn't it?
Like Hedera and also
Hedera, that's the
Theta
one. Yeah.
and Theta as well. Those are
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
my
and
two
Theta.
favorite
Would they
ones.
be part of this? Have they had a bit of a tough slog here?
I mean, yeah, tough slog, but they're not really DeFi. Hedera has some DeFi stuff trying to form. Maybe next cycle it'll have something by that
Maybe
time. But
maybe they are more aptly in this index.
I don't know if it's that bad, but yeah,
Interesting enough, this
we can stick 'em there
index
for now.
doesn't look as bad as DeFi, eh? Notice how we're still pretty far off these lows. Whereas DeFi, whoops, oh darn, sorry guys. Anyway, I'm kind of having fun just chatting with you guys. DeFi is pointing down towards these lows, eh? So, anyway.
Yeah, it's not a good look right there.
Yeah, well, that's probably the best statement you could make. Is, I mean, what are we here to do? And if the idea is you're here to invest in the future, participate in projects, developer cycle, then I think that that is universal. And if anything, when all the public goes crazy, that's your opportunity to maybe step back,
Yeah,
and let the public do their crazy thing. And if you're here to make money from speculatively flipping crypto, this could be a pretty tough market. Like I gave a challenge to everybody earlier, and I don't even know if are we working on YouTube? Oh yeah, there's a few people over there. Hey, cool. I wonder
and let the public
how
do their
many
crazy thing.
of how many site participants and how many of my panel here. We already know Nick has said that he'll probably retire at the end of his school tenure from our video, which is totally fine. I mean, that's totally cool. But I'd be just curious to see how many of the even just site participants, all of you regulars that come on the YouTube channel and stuff, and Twitter followers, how many of you are going to be here when we're at episode 100? I'll make you my promise. Is the same promise that I made at the top in 1718, when you could just feel it in your bones that there was trouble. But I made the promise to the community when what was that guy's name? This is Giancarlo. I want to say that name. Anyway, do you guys remember the CFTC, the futures commissioner guy, did his testimony in front of Congress and said, "Don't shit on Bitcoin." You remember that, Derek? We used to call him Bitcoin Dad. And there was another guy on Twitter who had the name Bitcoin Dad, and he was all pissed off that this other guy sort of usurped his Bitcoin Dad label.
Yeah, I vaguely remember, but I don't recall his name though.
Anyway, I think it was Giancarlo or something like that. Anyway, so I think we have to go through a period like that, and level 1 here completed, got tokens. Okay, thank you, London. So anyway, I mean that image, right? That's a tough image. If anything, we gotta let this stuff settle down. As a futures trader, all that kind of stuff, I would trade a trend continuation pattern if you can get like multiple lows off of this low. So can we please hold that low and then start turning back up, and then make another stab at that low and turn back up, and I got 3 sort of stabs to work with. Yeah, I might consider something on the long side. But that's going to take a while to develop, people. Oh, caramba. It's going to take a while. So that's the backdrop of our show. If anything, fun and fascinating, Bitcoin did go to new highs. In a weird sort of way, I actually wouldn't be surprised if this actually turns out to be a massive megaphone. And Bitcoin not only swings down and breaks a lot of kids and, adults' hearts for that matter, and then also swings right back up. And I don't know, you know what I mean? And show me a new high and I'll show you a buy, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the interesting thing is we could very easily go up and tag that high again. So, and I've often talked to everybody about how V-tops usually need to be tested at some point down the road. So I don't think this pattern is done by any stretch of the imagination. And if anything, it's probably through... I was mentioning to the boys here, and I saw on the site, thank you to the people who... the people. I don't know who it was. Because we got a lot of participation on the site. Sisyphus. Mr. Sisyphus to you, sir.
Always warm, always
people's
sunny.
names, I love it. But anyway, Sisyphus shared this interview with the community here in our lounge, and it's concerning. It's if anything, what I would suggest is and all three of my panel here are American. You're all American citizens, right? Ben is he's not nodding. I can't confirm that. But point here is, for God's sakes, if you call up your senator. I mean, you can't do anything about your congressman. Your congressman's already bought by he's already a leftist, and he's gonna just rubber stamp whatever they said. That's what this guy says, which kind of sucks, but I probably agree with him. But there's still a hope. You know, whoever your senator is, call him up and say this is very, very concerning. I could very easily see, Grandma has basically said she wants to bring out the tax police, right? 80,000 agents or something like that. I mean, we could find 2022, 2023. It's the IRS's war on the public citizens. And in Canada, the CRAs. So you better pay your taxes, everybody. Derek, Nick, Ben, for God's sakes, don't fight that fight. It's not worth it. Just pay the damn taxes. They own us. This is the way it is. But with regard to this is scary, because what he's saying here is that you could have a unelected bureaucrat who could very easily be a puppet of a cartel. And they can basically drop the hammer on anything that's sort of a threat to the banking system, and not even sort of threat, but a perceived threat, i.e. very politically dangerous, could be very politically charged. I don't know. I mean, gentlemen, I don't know whether you want to chime in or you just want to shy away. I don't want to touch this shit with a 10-foot pole. But I would strongly suggest that you drop a line to your local senator and encourage them to really question whether the Treasury should have that kind of authority or not. I mean, I'll tell you right now, as a Canadian citizen, I already know Big Brother owns me. They literally look at my bank accounts regularly. It's not a big thing. And when tax time comes, they already know exactly how much money you owe in taxes. And it's really just a question of, does your accountant file the paperwork that basically is exactly what the CRA says? And if they don't, you might have one of these kind of things, which you really don't want. So.
Yeah, I mean, why hire 80,000 agents when you can just have a CBDC or whatever that version of crypto is for US dollar, and just track it that way. That way you can you don't need those people. You just track it through the blockchain. But I mean, I didn't watch I haven't had a chance to watch that yet, but I know last time he was quite upset about sort of the misinterpretation of like mining and staking and all that type of stuff. But
unfortunately, this is careful what you wish for. You might just get it good and hard. Crypto's always wanted to be sort of like adopted and sort of go mainstream, and massive. I saw there's a program, or not a program, a company that basically wants to make it that there's no cost whatsoever for you to buy using cryptocurrencies on a merchant platform of 80,000 businesses. We talked about in the TRI SOF Club last night. Remember that, Derek? What was the name of that company? Remember, it was an
that was the one
OTC.
that's doing that. That's like the payment system and all that.
Yeah, it was the OTC stock.
Easy peasy. I had to go back through my.
Yeah, unfortunately,
I
I can't remember the symbol just off the top of my head. But anyway, the point of the matter here is you're going to get mass adoption. Here it comes.
Oh, rocket something. Rocket.
Yeah, rocket.
Rocket
There's
fuel.
the name
Rocket
of a
fuel.
coin
Rocket
male, really happy juice rocket.
I think it's rocket fuel. Was it rocket fuel? Maybe.
Yeah, no, but in crypto, right? There was a cryptocurrency, wasn't there? Name that. I don't want to say the word because it's too graphic. All right, moving on. Forget it. All right. So anyway, I just wanted to bring the attention that, gee whiz. Yeah, exactly. But Ben's a dad, so Ben can't be aired on social media and on public saying those words, right?
All right, I think I even bleeped out the letter.
Yeah, you did. Right. As my wife would say, she loved it when I was domesticated and sort of made very family-ish. I heard it. All right. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so as you can see, this is an interesting video. I think it's worth watching, and of course, like I said, if you're an American citizen, maybe call up your senator and say, "Hey, I don't like what I'm hearing." So, also too, DeFi in a certain way is a little bit kind of thumbing their nose at the U.S. government, at the powers that be, the powers in charge. I've been a little bit critical of some of the comments that crypto developers have said. Other people have said, "Man, it's not really that big of a deal," but we'll see. I'm an old man. I'm part of into it. It kind of sucks, but it's probably good for you to use the information as you can. That I come from that old world. That when Big Brother says jump, you better jump. So anyway, it's a tough looking image, tough looking market, tough looking chart right now. And hats off to Nick for a stellar bearish call there last week. I guess that's my overview here, because it's going to be tough for me to come out and say, "Hey, I think this is turned and away you go." You got to start seeing some W's on these indexes. In fact, one of the I'd actually be curious, because all of you done the level 1. Let's see if you guys any know this. It'll be interesting. You're going to be put on the spot. Are there any stock trading models that you're taught in the level 1 program that require the market to actually be in a bullish state? Obviously, the answer actually to that question is actually really easy. The real answer I'm looking for is, if the answer happens to be yes, what is it?
I'll take the first question. I'm going to say yes.
All right, score. Easy win. All right, so that means Ben and Derek, you're screwed. Does anybody happen to remember what that model is? Actually, a very famous model. Oh, jeez. Breaking my heart.
Ben's closer to that one. Let's start with a C.
Okay.
I'll take a C for.
Well, it's not bad, I suppose.
Come on, Ben. That was to jog your memory.
And so if it starts with a C, Can Slim?
Hey, very good, Ben.
Very
Nice.
Participation, see?
You saved their asses. Good job. Well, actually, Ben, you've taken you're the most recent victim of all the three, eh?
Yeah.
Anyway, so in our level 1 program, we teach fundamental analysis models. And a very famous stock billionaire dude. It's interesting how you don't even really hear too much about him anymore, but I'm sure he's out there. William O'Neill, Bill O'Neill. And he developed a stock trading model called CanSlim. And M stands for, if you don't have a friendly market state, don't do anything. Just stop. I hate to say it, folks. You look at an image like that, that's not a friendly market state. Just isn't. How you want to sort of determine where the market state turns back up. How, I'm a big fan of the old W's, right? And actually, this is an interesting. If you just sort of kept a matrix on here, and of course the Binance index, it's just made up of an interesting list of Binance. It might be interesting just to see who is in here. The gentleman on the side, I think Sharktoshi, he was the one who created this. Here we go. Let's see who we got in here. This will be interesting because it's actually slightly outperforming DeFi. So it'd be interesting to see who's in here. And you go, oh my God, what do you got that in there for? You're the worst criminal ever. Well, no. Okay, so ETH, XRP, don't know what the hell that means. LTC, EOS, ADA, XLM, NEO, XMR, IOTA. What do you think? Is that a half decent little list? Seems like it's I don't know, but Ben was the one who put this together. That's so cute. Jeez, look how old that is. 2017. That's
I was gonna say, if you're looking for like the top 10 alts by market cap, that's definitely not a fully accurate list.
So we'll call this Ben's mutual fund. And it was made in October 2017. Should be interesting just to see, just for fun, which ones outperformed here. So if we did this, I don't know whether you can do that. If we go, we'll call this Ben's mutual fund. I don't know. I'm kind of wasting time. Was there stuff you guys wanted to talk about specifically? Maybe I should ask you guys whether you want to look at anything in particular. Yes, no, maybe so.
There's a couple things that have been interesting in the news lately. There's been a lot of drama around Danny and Time and Spell this week.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
Maybe that's been building up over this last couple weeks because I was noticing a lot of hate on Twitter for him.
Yeah, I think part of it recently has just been because Time's been going down and people are somehow blaming the developers or the team from doing that. But this week, just the last couple days with the price action, I know Danny, essentially the team owns a bunch of Time. And so he took that Time, put it in Abracadabra, which is Spell's protocol, and then borrowed stablecoins off it, and then sent it to Bitfinex and pulled it out to fiat. So that was kind of like him collecting a salary, I guess. And it was a lot of money. It was like $10 million. And he wasn't selling it wasn't really Time. It was Memo, but that it's essentially Time. And he wasn't selling it. He was just using it as collateral. But then Time tanked yesterday evening, about this time yesterday, I think, and got to a point where he was liquidated of his $10 million worth of Memo or whatever it was. And tons of other people were liquidated from their borrows. And so that caused Time to just tank way below kind of where the guaranteed quote unquote value is. Whenever it gets to the value of what the treasury is based off of, the protocol is supposed to buy back that Time. And for whatever reason, it didn't kick in last night. And so it kept a cascading liquidation of people all the way down to I don't even know. It went from $900 down to 400 or something. And everyone was just irate.
Is it on TradingView? Can we see
it is. Just put in Time. It's Actually, I think it's do one divided by min.
Oh
time.
no, here we go.
No. It's an easy one. It's easier now. One
Okay.
divided by, and then just MIM
MIM.
and time.
And then time?
Yep, just spell out time and then hit enter.
MIM time.
Yeah, right.
Magic internet money. Okay. Boom. Is that it?
Yep, that's it. Just let's go.
Oh, the horror.
Yeah, so last night that
That's too bad.
I guess it's technically it's just that looks like a shooting star there, that second to last candle. Or it could have been the red one. Probably both of them combined. It was probably right about the end of day yesterday, but it tanked real quick and cascaded a bunch of liquidations.
Oh my.
And so essentially there's a huge amount of
I wonder
anger
if this
towards
thing
Danny.
unwinding itself could have a cascading effect into other cryptocurrencies. You think this is isolated, or do you think it'll have a ripple effect?
No, I honestly think it's pretty isolated.
Because didn't you say you collateralize this and then you use that to borrow other stuff?
Yep, but if you get liquidated, essentially it just sells, the protocol will sell your collateral.
Right.
And so the only thing that's really affected is this coin, and it will just continue to go down when the liquidations happen because you're forced to sell.
But I was promised, like, what was it, 35,000%
I mean, you
annualized
could still be
rate of
getting that
return?
80,000%. That could
What?
still be happening. It just
I could still get my, because I was guaranteed 347 million % APR.
Yeah.
So I'm still good to go, right?
I mean, I don't know if you're good to go. Define good to go, but
I mean, the irony of it all, gentlemen, is there anything on this particular price chart that kind of jumps out at us and we should look at it and go, oh, that's probably not a good sign?
The fact that we hit an all-time low according to this price chart.
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about now.
Well,
The
also
irony
tons
of it all is that we
M's.
actually knew exactly when to get the hell out of this thing. Do you see anything here that should have caused you a little bit of concern?
Right about at that 7,500 to 8,000 level.
Yeah, I think it's $7,500.
That alone should have been like, whoa.
Oh goodness! How many doubles would I have gotten off on this?
A lot. It a lot.
Just for fun, because I'm just a stupid idiot, right? I mean, let's say I bought this breakout here. Nice reversal. All right, let's go and see if we can bang out some doubles here. So what's that? Oh, it's 1,100. Not too much.
You would have had a 2, a 4, and an 8.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not that big of a deal. I suppose. And what? How did they figure that this thing IPO'd at like 500 whatever?
It actually didn't. There's a little bit of history you don't have. It did IPO down at about $50.
50. Whoa. So that's why he was feeling so goddamn. So he was talking like he was a god, eh? fucking. Oh, that's adorable. I just hope to God he's oh Lordy.
Now he probably needs that protection more than ever.
Yeah. Oh boy.
The next step isn't
that
page
funny?
of
Do you guys remember a few months ago? I told you guys, and I said this, I don't mean to be a dick, but I said that whatever the scandal is that's gonna unwind this thing, it's already happening now. So it's fascinating how the whole market getting bid up, and that just absolute insane over-the-top frivolity was basically the warning sign that, oh boy, trouble's coming. I wonder, do you think that there's an entity, like, do you think the U.S. government or, like CIA kind of stuff like that, we don't have to name names, but do you think that there's people that were actually pointed at this story to bring it to an end?
I don't believe so. I think coins that have this type of APY, like Ohm, Time, Klima, there's a bunch of others. Yeah. They do fine in bull markets. But could you do me a favor? What's that all-time high, that red candle there? What's the date on that?
All right, there's
The
8th of November.
So Bitcoin topped on the 10th. And so that's kind of, we've been down only with Bitcoin since then as well. And so I almost think of coins like this as like a leveraged version of what the overall market is doing.
Yeah.
And so if the market is going down, this thing is going to just perform terribly.
Yeah, in fact, we would call that the beta. And its beta is probably like 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's
So,
much higher than 1.
If Bitcoin goes down 1%, this thing probably goes down 3 or 4%. You know, kind of idea. That's pretty typical. I suppose, if anything, you know what, the one thing... So, what I was asking you guys, and then maybe if I do this, it'll make it a lot easier. What are we supposed to think if we ever see the market smiling at us? And, you know, this is my public service message to anybody who's watching on YouTube. You got to learn this, folks. You really do. And if anything, it's scary. You know, this is a venture capital. It's a bit speculative, so understandable. It's up and down like a horse drawers. But, you know, like, geez, I even put this message out about the broader stock market. You might find, and it sucks horsecocks, because I've seen it happen before, and it's sort of like you sit there for a couple of years and go, well, there's not really a hell of a lot to do. But where the hell did I have that? On the website, I guess. Somebody said, well, actually, I'm finding some really good short ideas. I might get a little bit more active on the put side of the market here over the next little while, you know. But did you guys see that bond short setup that I showed? I think I even tweeted that out as well. Jeez.
With the 50% rule one?
Yeah, I mean,
target, yeah.
that's almost like a no-brainer trade. And if that's what the corporate bond market looks like, uh-oh. Should probably even think about doing it on those euro dollars. But I wanted to show you guys. Yeah, the irony of all, you know what I should be bullish of? What's this image? I am bullish of... Ben, do you see, does that look like an image that I tried to teach you coming out of the level 1 course?
Yep, looks like one of those first grade W's.
Actually, yeah, you know, it's first grade. You were in one of the advanced class, eh? I don't think I would. Was I even? I think I was still eating my crayons in first grade. But hats off to you. Yeah, you're right. Damn, I mean, just looks so crisp, eh? That's interest rates. Oh, fuck. And you know what? He even said today, oh, Jesus, inflation's a lot worse than we expected. Oh, boy. Did you hear him say that? You do not want to hear the central banker say that. That's the last thing. He's the last guy in the world you want to hear say that. You know, this is why Alan Greenspan always said nothing. Because now the market's going to be like, oh, Jesus, what the hell did he just say? Oh, God.
Well, there were a couple other things, too. Like, he said a phrase like they're going to be substantially less accommodative.
Yeah, I know.
That's strong words coming from Chairpow.
Yeah, I mean, right across the board. I couldn't believe it. And I even sort of said them point by point by point. You know, he said basically, Fed's going to support you. Forget it. We're taking everything back. Sorry. It's over. The party's over. Fiscal support. And this is interesting, right? Because Biden, basically the past 2 years, his whole thing has been, you know, build back better and all that kind of shit, right? And basically that's landed flat on its face. And if anything, they don't want to support the economy. And he kept saying over and over again, hey, the economy's so damn strong. This is a damn strong economy. You know, and then I thought this was fascinating. I don't know what the hell's going on inside of China. Like, literally, they have, locked down their entire economy. And, you know, what's her face? Kathy Woods is saying, they're tearing down the buildings that were built in this recent development wave. I mean, that's their form of capitalism. They build up a whole bunch of speculative condos, and then, nope, sorry, you got to tear those down. Boom, building's gone. But what happened to my investment? You got a complaint? There's the complaint department over there.
I mean, they have entire empty cities that they built up
shocking.
in China. It's crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, zero COVID policy, and even when I heard him say this, he was like, you know, some overseas, they're gonna blame this zero COVID policy for the fact that the economy, it's kind of dicey over there. Kind of fascinating. So the 1, 2, 3 punch, put it all together, and oh boy, what a smack in the face. And then like I said, add insult to injury. Now there's people within crypto talking about legislation that could be passed that's going to be another slap in the face. So it's going to be like, this is going to be a tough slog. And to add insult to injury, I did talk about this with the community today. This is the megaphone that I kind of think is working here. But just everybody's got to understand, and I don't mean to be rude. Please don't interpret this as me being rude. But please understand that there's a business of mining these Bitcoins. I also think, too, that there's a hell of a lot of institutional participation in this, and I think the institutional market really likes this idea. It might be our out, because basically our fiat currency system is blowing up. I'm worried about the whole sort of CBCD, central bank. No, I got that wrong. CBDC, right? Digital currency. I'm worried about that. I don't know how that's going to play out. But the bottom line here is I think there's a lot of people that have a huge vested interest to keep the Bitcoin story going. But if you want to make money from speculating on the price of Bitcoin, you have to train yourself not to get sucked into the orgy. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you have to. I told Simon Dixon, one of the guys, I think actually without Simon Dixon, then Bitcoin probably wouldn't even exist. It would be gone by now. And he's a very, very smart guy, and he's just point blank, Wherever the most recent rally peak is, 70-80% knockoff of that, that's when you start coming in on the buy side. It's so simple. The interesting thing is this green box here, this is sort of my buying zone, 60% to 80%. And I love buying off of this 78.6. And notice there are our little cost of production matrix. So you have to just learn. You can speculate through this. You want to build a trading plan, buying, hell, if your region will allow, you can go and trade casino, OKCoin. We used to have a guy on the site who took bucket loads of money out of OKCoin. I mean, it was remarkable how much money he made trading ETH future or forwards on OKCoin. So you can trade this and have a lot of fun this, but if you're going to be investing, try and learn things like try and buy near cost of production. I really think it's super important for you. And so now the question is we've gone through our 4-year cycle. You never knew exactly what the hell the top was going to be. And is this even our high? We might make another high here. And at that point, the day that we make the new all-time high here, oh my God, the crypto kids, they're just going to be insufferable, right? I mean, it's just going to be a nightmare. Oh, all-time highs. I told you so. I told you so. F you, blah, blah, blah. But, that's a hallmark of megaphones. They do this. But if anything, if we're really lucky, the one thing that's kind of bugged me about this, notice this is basically a straight line. So if we're really lucky, just jam it. Just jam this fucker. Excuse my French. I just blew up all... Josh is going, geez, you went about an hour without swearing, Brian. I tried. I really did. But yeah, there you go. That's the trader in me. Just jam it, right? Just hurl it on us, right? Because, we have this study we call the decennial study. And I probably totally butcher the pronunciation. Larry Williams, Warren Buffett, he loves it. They're basically calling for some sort of pivot low in the stock market somewhere in this sort of late spring, summer window. And I think it's all to do with the upcoming election. And I think that a lot of stuff like jamming through that crypto legislation that nobody's going to like, and then also cranking rates up and trying to cut as much as possible. And like Nick just said there, I mean, the language the guy's using, he's basically saying, don't look at us. Whatever it is that we gave you, it's coming back. And, I'm sure all the MMT people right now are like, but, right? Am I wrong or am I wrong? Oh goodness. Anyway, so I had full disclosure. I've got bids working at 25,000, 10,000. You know, some of down in the 7,000-8,000 area. I would love to be able to buy. You know, there's my 78.6. If that is the ultimate high of the cycle, I know that the next damn bottom is going to come in off of 15 Gs. And actually, that would make perfect sense. Because you can see this cost of production thing is just working its way higher. I don't have a problem with that number. That'll be very respectable down the road. So, anyway, we'll see how it goes. A little concerning about that Danny story. That's a little concerning, I'll tell you that much. Can't even really comment, but like Nick said, I think Nick actually nailed it really well there. This is the cutting edge of this space, and highly, highly speculative. A little depressing, a little disappointing to hear this story. I hope to God it doesn't end badly. And I hope to God people, you know, it had people did, you know, Doge did exactly the same thing, right? So this is just another anecdote of the sort of, you know, 2021, 2022 peak. I hope this story, though, you know, for Danny's sake and for all the people involved, I hope they can get there, you know, they can right the ship. This, you know, it's interesting. I've seen this happen several times. Do you guys remember the Bitfinex tokens? You guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember when they issued those. Went up because of a hack or something like that, or?
Yeah, that's my reference to Mr. Dixon.
Oh, okay. That's when he came out.
Yeah. And I seem to remember there was a story that was similar like this back last cycle. And I suppose, I hope Danny doesn't have to be this cycle's Richard Hart, right? You know, I hope Danny doesn't have to come on crypto and shed a tear. I noticed that there was a audio Twitter, like I get one of those notices that he's doing one of his live, I guess, Frog Nation kind of things. I noticed that today. So did he come on like very earnest and talk to the community, very serious and all that?
Yeah, there were a couple of them. I wasn't listening to it, but one was kind of addressing what happened with Time last night. And then they actually brought out a proposal to kind of merge Time and Spell together. I don't know how I feel about that. It seems really odd timing to be wanting to do that right now, but
Hi, I mean, since you know this story fairly well, how does this work in with like the Luna people? Were they getting into bed together a little bit?
So they did a little. So as part of Spell's protocol, whenever I say abracadabra, that's their application.
And let's see, just out of curiosity, what's this Luna doing? No, that's not it. I always do that. Sorry. Please continue.
Sure. So there is a way on Abracadabra's app to lever up your UST. And so you can essentially take, say, let's just say 10,000 UST, which is Terra's stablecoin, and you can lever it up to the point where you probably have anywhere between 40 and 80,000. So you are highly, highly leveraged. And then what it does is it bridges that UST back to Terra and deposits it in Anchor so that you're getting 18% on all that. Wow. And so you're getting 18% on, say, 50,000, even though you only deposited 10 initially. So on your stable coins, you are now getting roughly 90% APY.
Ooh,
so it is dangerous if UST depegs. That can be very dangerous, and you can get liquidated. Well, technically, it would have to be, I guess, if MIM depegs. But then also, that's where Seord Monday was talking about how it's kind of artificially inflated the supply of UST to that 10 billion number. because a lot of it is levered up. It's not really 10 billion organic dollars that have created those UST. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, the good part about the way that I approach the market is for whatever it's worth. But then I'm a slowpoke, and really, I'm not really in any big hurry. You know, you buy, let half go somewhere in here. Let another half go, I don't know, I think it was somewhere up in the 30s or 40s. Then let another half go up. Actually, didn't we do this on another coin? We talked about that. We got a few doubles off. Anyway. So I was kind of bummed because I had my next order up here at 120. Didn't get filled on that. But ironically enough, actually, I'm more than happy to step back in on the buy side if we get back down to my 78.6. You ready for this number though? And this is, I don't like showing this to Fjord because Fjord goes, oh, right?
Oh, the lunatics aren't going to like this.
Nah, they're not going to like it at all. It's $25. So, you know, it's the same as like the more things change, the more they stay exactly the same. You know what I mean? Drives you crazy. But I hope to goodness, you know, please don't take risks you can't afford. It's not worth it. You know, like this is why I do my like sell halves on doubles and little old lady nonsense and stuff. You know, I mean, I'd be curious. I mean, do you guys mind if I put everybody on YouTube?
I'm okay.
All right. I just want to just and you guys tell me, and please don't be insulted anybody. I'm just sort of having fun. Kind of stupid, but let's see. There we are. There's us on YouTube. But there's Brian. I mean, do I look like I'm in my my 50s? I don't know. I mean, there's our rest of our crew. I mean, there's a reason. Where's the camera? Hi, everybody. I mean, there's a reason why I want to try and keep my relative youth. Sorry, I wanted to show everybody. I mean, I try to look like I'm relatively young. Eh? I mean, do I look like I'm relatively young? I hope so. I mean, life is long. Can you imagine when you're going to be in your 50s, guys? I mean, seriously. I don't know.
It's reasonable to believe. It's for me, it's in 7 years, and
yeah, I've only got 10. So
okay. So anyway,
not that far away.
Point is, and if anything, this should be the funnest part of your life. But the point I would just make is you got to try and keep the least amount of stress possible, because if you don't, you start going gray and the wrinkles start coming and it's just no going back. Just try and hold on to your youth as much as possible. So my approach, and trust me, I mean, I made some great money on this trade. This is perfect. But ironically enough, I'm rooting for lower prices so I can go and buy them back in the reload zone. I mean, it's so cliche. I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to take some time to clean up, though. It'll be actually interesting to see. I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if there's a replication of this kind of time it takes, like, say, from that peak all the way to, like, the buy, and actually where we made new highs. I don't know whether we can do that or not. We maybe. See how it goes. This is going to take some time. I wouldn't expect that this story has bottomed and turned, started heading back up until... Actually, that's interesting because we have a report from Larry Williams. And I don't know whether I've shown it on this. I think I talked about it. The decennial expectation that the market's going to bottom sometime late spring or early summer. And then rally. So, this kind of image here, I would not be surprised if through this window, this guy has to work his way all the way back down here. And now, we were kind of conjecturing, and it was interesting that Sjord said that on Monday. So you understood the implication, and more importantly, you understood that maybe the price, or I guess, how do you call it? The demand for the UST is maybe a little artificial.
Maybe. I don't know if I'd go that far. I'd just say at least the mechanism that got them to 10 billion was not organic.
Yeah. So maybe they gotta, go back to the drawing board and figure out some new protocols and stuff like that to get to that level. I don't know. All right. So, yet again, tough looking market. Do we really need to be in a big hurry to fight the fight here? I don't think so, folks. I really don't. And kind of like what we showed you here. If this thing really is a bottom and it's the next best thing since sliced bread, number one, you're probably going to see a pullback down into the bottom end range. And interestingly enough, this move here was on a pretty nasty sort of scandal, eh? So, then sort of things calm down, and then our good old buddy, W's. In fact, I might even suggest you want to keep it simple and keep your nose clean, maybe even insist on weekly W's here now. In fact, Nick was commenting on how I had kind of suggested to a relatively new person to the site that maybe they just better cool their jets and start showing me weekly W's coming in here before they actually start getting super uber bullish again, because this is going to take some time to clean up. It's just simple as that. Where do we want to go next? Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky here. What's kind of interesting is I wonder if anybody picked up on any of these bear ETFs. Bitcoin, I suppose, it's not really too pretty of a chart. Actually, I was kind of expecting these things to be more WE, but I guess they're just sort of meh. Unfortunately, that's not even really, seeing 8s and 9s here, believe it or not, I think that if you were interested in hedging, I wouldn't be surprised actually if we have a little bit of a counter trend rally here at some point, eh? Because, whoops, what did I just do there? Kind of looks to me like candle body lows. 78.6. You heard Brian talking about that a moment ago. I like that level, but that implies that there should be some rally out of the corn here. So it's actually, this is kind of a fun conversation. I tweeted this out. Did I talk about this already? Trap bulls and the trap bears?
Not here.
But in the daily brief I did. So, and actually it's interesting. Now you've got some trap bulls here against this trend line here. So now this is actually tightening up because it said that the range was here is the low and here's the high. Now, sadly, it looks like there is the high and there is the low. So there's our trading range right now, and we're painting lower highs and lower lows. Boo, hiss, hiss, boo. In fact, actually, the daily brief, I think Nick was kind of poking fun at me that I was trying to jawbone the market higher here so I wouldn't look like a doofus.
It was the closest, I know it wasn't serious, but it's the closest thing I've ever heard to you sounding like you were shilling stuff. You're like, come on, let's just go out and buy some corn so we can get that back up to. I was like, I thought it was humorous.
I think it was more desperation of not. And actually, it's a great example of why this kind of game is so foolhardy. Is that what ends up happening is, of course, your ego now gets involved, and I should be completely indifferent. But what I found fascinating about this, like I said, there was last Wednesday's show. What I found fascinating about this was, we were coming out of the show, and I even I even seem to remember we drew this up as we were doing the show, and it actually performed quite well. There's 2-to-1, and geez, it went all the way up to what is that? Almost 3 3/4 to 1 risk reward. So the traders of the world would be more than happy with this trade, but wow, just ran into an absolute buzzsaw here. Boom. And you can see I even reported to the community stopped at scratch on remaining. See you later. So that's a trader's life. And then the cascade just was whoo. So nasty. If anything, what a great analogy. You better make damn sure to have stops working. Or else you could wake up to a really nasty surprise the next day. So, I don't know. What the hell do you make out of all this? Actually, I was a little disappointed. We're doing the January barometer study. And the first day's action assumed that we would try and rally into the end of the year. And I was telling you, like Larry Williams' Dicentennial report, it also said that by, somewhere around the middle to the end of the summer, we should turn and work our way back up higher. But the January barometer report for the full month has just been an absolute train wreck. This thing just can't get going. And I have to say it, folks. I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but this is a bad sign for speculative assets in the coming year. I mean, it's not good. So, it's not really like you set your watch to something like this. It's just sort of like a barometer, right? That's what it's called. It's just if you see barometric pressure dropping, how does it go? I remember the Simpsons episode where they did the hurricanes. Barometric pressure drops, and then the wind picks up or something like that, and it's like, uh-oh. Anyway, this is a barometer. It's trying to tell us, boy, this is going to be a tough slog. So, if anything, don't take it as crypto is getting shit on. I would say take it as the entire risk market is getting shit on. And the reason why, I think, primarily is because of this one culprit right here. Energy prices. Energy prices, and unfortunately energy prices are a great sort of proxy for, inflation proxies, cost of doing business proxies. So what it's clearly saying is, this is the whole inflation problem that the Fed's talked about, and this market shouldn't be going up. So why is it going up? Is it really institutionalized inflation? I don't think so. I think it's some guy over in Eastern Europe who's trying to cause a bit of trouble. But what can you do? He's got a pretty damn big gun, right? He's been wagging his gun around and saying it's time to party. And unfortunately, what usually happens in this kind of scenario is the commodity prices get bid up. And I remember specifically this happened in the Gulf War. One, where Saddam went in, prices went crazy. Then there was a big sort of, oh my God, what's Senior Bush going to do? And prices kept going up and up and up. Then as soon as the Americans actually started to move troops over, and it was perceived that there was going to be a fight, and literally, I think literally the moment the bullets started flying, like the Americans started moving in earnest, the price of the oil just collapsed. So I hope to God that's not how this has to play out. Unfortunately, there isn't a huge oil supply in Ukraine, so that's not really what's at stake here. I think it's more like, Vladdy's sitting on a whole bunch of nukes, and, how crazy does crazy get? Let's hope it doesn't get too crazy. Like Biden was even, I think he had kind of said, look, you've got us by the short and curlies. You want a limited incursion, you want to go take some land and make the Russian Ukrainians happy. Okay, fine. It's a bargaining chip. But interestingly enough, and actually I'd be curious to see how that resonated with you guys. When you heard that, when Biden said that, what did you guys think? Because you're U.S. citizens, right? So he's your leader. What did you guys think when you heard him say that?
When he was talking about
the
I guess
limited,
get something limited or something like that. He'd be
yeah,
okay.
Like I don't know, maybe you didn't even hear whether that comment.
I thought it was weak. I thought it was
okay.
sort of position But I mean, he tried to quickly correct it, and I think that
Yeah.
the his handlers tried to quickly correct it too. So but I think he maybe let slip what he was really thinking, or what he was, what his position really was. I mean, but it didn't sound like any of the previous talk I've heard from other presidents. So it's different.
Yeah, that was a bit shocking. But he kind of did the same thing with Afghanistan, eh?
Yeah, we see how
So
that one ended.
anyway, so I don't know if either of the two of you want to chime in. I see it. I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but me personally, I saw that and I was like, oh wow, it's kind of odd. And then, like you said, Derek, he quickly backtracked away from that. So unfortunately, as long as and here's the question: is this part of Vladdy's plan? Does he know that if he goes and saber rattles, he can get the price of oil up? And how does a rising oil price help the Russian economy? Does it help it or does it hurt it? And if you need to ask this question, you don't know.
Well, I mean,
Russia.
last time I checked, they have a pretty big pipeline that goes to Germany, don't they? Or is that natural gas?
Well, that's even worse. Yeah, the natural gas situation
that
is
might be
even
natural
worse.
But I'm imagining they have a lot of oil fields in Russia.
Yeah, I mean, basically, Russia is a commodity proxy. So, maybe that's part of Vladdy's plan here. He says, you know what, we can get that oil price up nice and high. The interesting thing is at what point, because our societies are trying to move away from oil, at what point does this really actually bite the economies, where the economies actually start reeling and they just can't handle this high oil price? The interesting thing about this image, which kind of pisses you off, but nonetheless, it is what it is. Where can I show you this? Is this actually a really high oil price? I mean, that's the question.
Not historically.
Well, yeah, like where can I show you this?
Like in 2013, 14, it was...
Yeah, if you go like this, more
yeah.
importantly, right? If you go and actually compare it to the actual dilution of the capital stock, the currency. So here, how do we do that? Yeah, right here. This is what we wanted. This one. This is shocking, because what does a high oil price have to be for it to actually be high? So we do this on a weekly. So there's the old high in oil, and here we are now. So this is scary. I mean, what price does oil actually have to go to for the economy? Because through this, the economy can't handle this high oil price. At some point, the economy itself just cracks under the pressure, right? But we look at the price right now and we go, oh, gee whiz, $80, $90, man, that's expensive. But is it? And the answer is no, actually it isn't. So, oh, goodness. And actually, to get maybe a little bit better image so you don't see that funny little misprint down there, you can do the second commodity contract. Anyway, let's see. There we go. So that got some room to run? What do you think? Yeah.
That does make me worry. What would the price of the pump be when it goes up there? It was cheaper when it was more expensive per barrel.
Well, see, here's the thing, right? Is I get the impression that what the plan is. Now watch this. This will freak you out. But what the plan is to make gasoline so expensive, people don't have any choice. They have to buy these electric cars. That's actually what I think is going to happen here. You ready? This is the adjusted. Oh, it's not even going to.
I think you closed the window.
They're charting things like, it's so bad. You don't even want to see it. You don't. Let's try that again.
They're just going to put a frowny face up there.
Sorry? Oh, yeah.
I said they're just going to put a frowny face up there.
It's re-blended gasoline or something. Yeah, there it is, Rob. So anyway, we'll do that. There's the price of gas. So that's the number that you see And you go, oh, gee whiz, that's actually pretty getting up there to historic levels. But in reality, this is what the price is. So let's see what the difference is. Yeah, it may not be that bad. Let's see. Oh, Jesus. So to get up to the levels where people are really fretting about very high oil prices, that means this thing needs to go from 1, whatever the hell that is, to 2, to 3, to 4. So a 4-fold increase in the price of unleaded gasoline for it to be, quote unquote, expensive.
That'd be double digits per gallon. Could
be, man. Could very well be. And I suppose that would be sort of the, like the hyperinflation. What's supposed to be the price of a loaf of bread by the time the end of all this comes on? Geez, I've been going on about it for quite a while, eh? You guys remember?
With your adding a zero?
Yeah, I remember I used to always say, your Bitcoin might be like 100, 200, maybe $500,000, right? But what's the price of a loaf of bread going to be?
Can't remember if you said, was it $50?
Yeah, it could be $50, $100. I suppose, right now, a half decent loaf of bread at my grocery store, which is almost insulting, is about $3 to $3.50, something like that. So could it double, triple, quadruple? That would take it up into like $10 a loaf. Oh, God. Anyway. All right, that's a party and a half. Do we want to... Actually, it might be interesting to look at what Bitcoin looks like in this. The only problem is Bitcoin just started here, eh? So I don't know whether we would... But that would be interesting to see, just out of curiosity. BTC USD versus M2. Then the question is, they're probably going to need to do that Brave New Coin Index symbol.
Yeah, is that XBT?
Yeah, I think that's it. X. Because you got to get the data from way back when. Okay, so let's see. Oof. Boosh. Yeah, that interesting. Yeah, this going back to 2016, so we can't go back to 2008. It would be good to be able to go back there. That's too bad. I wonder if that's that's BitMEX. No, that's not what we want. I wonder what the hell the Brave New Coin thing is. Brave New. BLX. Oh, isn't that interesting? BLX. Let's see what else we do that. Hey, there we go. Huh. All right. Well, what do you think? Sadly, ironically enough, Bitcoin is going to have a tough time to move a hell of a lot higher here. Oh, goodness. Actually, we've heard people talk about the Bitcoin super cycle, eh? So, commodity super cycle. All right. Kind of rambling here. What else? Any of the names? Why don't we do some interaction with the public here? Is anything in the public? How about this? Why don't we'll throw it out here? Can somebody give me a symbol that has a weekly W breakout happening on it? There's the challenge.
You should give a prize if somebody can find one of those.
Anywhere in crypto? Anybody?
There's always a weekly W somewhere.
Yeah, I know. There's always a bull somewhere, right? Isn't that how the saying goes? Anyway, given the context. Oh, CVC. What's somebody said CVC? Yeah, I noticed that. Trex is offering to stake your ADA for you now. Did you guys see that? Thought that was interesting. So the Trex is going to, as a centralized exchange, offer to stake your ADA for you, and then Granny's going to come along after this legislation has said passed and literally kill ADA on Trex, and all your coins are going to be locked in there and frozen. I can totally see it coming. So cliche. Anyway, we'll see. Yeah, so there are names that are coming down into support. So Sharky wanted me to point out, I guess, CBC. Crypto. Excuse me. Suppose we should probably. Oh well, that's not much of a chart. Should probably take a look at Ether. You know, I guess the interesting thing is it's sort of like maybe versus Tether. There's a little bit better data. Oh yeah, so coming into Sharky's W there. We should, be some sort of pivot down here. I'm really surprised that. Well, I mean, the problem is we just can't assume that W. Let's get some sort of W come in here. So, who can show me a weekly W? Show me a W. Show me the money. Thank you, Sharky, for looking. Can anybody else show me a W? KNC. Yeah, let's see what we got here. KNC. We'll do it just as on versus Tethers on Binance. I don't know if that's the best place to look. Well, there I suppose is the W. We've just gone straight up here, so I don't really see a W. We just put in this. Oh, there's an M right there. I mean, the good part about buying an asset, I don't know whether I even like that level there. It even looks a little expensive. But probably, if you can just sort of force yourself to average in, 78.6, it's a little bit lower than where we are right now. No, I'm not going to say that's a W yet. Close. You got good intentions, but no W there yet. Maybe on a different. All the money is in NFTs. Yeah, maybe. It's a good point.
It is. NFTs have been going crazy.
So how do we figure out? So what do you think people are doing? Are people taking their Bitcoin and buying NFTs and just sort of hide their Bitcoins?
Yeah. So Costco and I were chatting about it a little bit earlier on in the chat. A lot of money is going into NFTs, but there's no real good way to figure out how much of crypto has gone from crypto to NFTs. So it's tough, but they are at like all-time high value or volumes. I put a link in chat if you want to click on it. It essentially shows OpenSea, which is the biggest NFT marketplace, kind of their volumes and fees and things like that. And that's a monthly volume, that first chart, and a daily volume, the second chart. So it's at all-time high volumes right now.
There you go. I said, show me the volume. Volume speaks volumes. Show me the money. There you go.
Is that a result of the Jimmy Kimmel Paris Hilton?
Yeah. Somebody was posting that on the site today. So they're all getting gung ho. What name is she touting?
I think Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Yeah.
Beg your pardon?
Yeah. I think it's called Bored Ape Yacht Club. They're pretty pricey.
And it's on here?
Monkeys.
Yeah, they're on OpenSea. I don't know if you can necessarily look at.
Did you say bored? Like that?
As in not excited. Like you're bored.
How do you spell that?
BORED.
BORED.
But I don't know if you can actually. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that top one.
Ape Yacht Club.
Yeah, the price of those are expensive. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, well, I guess so, because she probably caters to a fairly affluent audience, eh?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Gutter Cat. So this is like 0.36 BTC, or is Ethereum?
Everything on NFTs will usually be Ethereum. Yeah. Bored Ape Yacht Club, the cheapest one for sale right now is 93 ETH. So I don't know, it's about 200 grand. A little over 200 grand.
That makes sense. Huh. Fascinating. And this is Crypto Cobain dude. He's all over this world, right? Would he be involved in the same kind of thing, or is it something different that he does?
I don't know how much into NFTs he is, but I'm not saying he isn't. I haven't heard him talk a ton about
Okay.
NFTs.
Fascinating. So that's where you reckon the money's flowing these days. And this is also like the music industry people and the doing the music albums and stuff like that. Would that be this market?
Yeah, I mean those. I mean, I don't know if that's maybe not necessarily the Ethereum market, but in general, those are NFTs. Yeah.
So Costco's saying this all really took off once ETH uptrend broke. That's interesting.
Yeah, we tend to see whenever ETH stops pumping, a lot of, I don't know if they're smart money or what, but a lot of people will take their money out of ETH, throw it in NFTs, and then NFTs will kind of have their bull season. And I feel like if we do see ETH start to pump again, potentially there will be some rotation back. But it seems to be like an ebb and flow cycle back and forth.
Yeah, I remember on this site I saw somebody sharing that Jimmy Kimmel, right? That's the guy's name? No. With Paris Hilton. What was that guy's name? On he has a late night show. He's
It was Jimmy Fallon.
Fallon.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, Fallon. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember. Oh yeah, but it looks like it's gone. Oh, well. I know. I saw it this morning. If you guys can screen share it, I don't have that image handy, but if you guys know where it is or you have it handy, we can always show the good people. Scroll down to the total OpenSea traders chart. Total OpenSea traders over time. Yeah, so there you go. And so somebody who buys an NFT is quote unquote a trader now? Shouldn't they technically be like a hodler? do you buy these things to hold on to them, or do you buy them to actually trade them?
I think most people are in it strictly for speculation around making money. There are some people that truly love the projects and the communities, but I think the vast majority have gotten into NFTs because it's just a way to get rich if you get lucky.
Yeah, you're kind of just sort of spinning the wheel, eh? Kind of lottery. And then if you have somebody famous promote them, woohoo, all hell breaks loose. Eh?
I did put that picture in a link
there you
chat if you want to click on it.
Nick, you're the man. So the problem is do we see a W here? You know, the worst part about this is this might actually be a really good anecdote of coming late to the party. I guess what bothers me here is this seasonally would make perfect sense. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's Paris Hilton?
Yep.
Wow, she looks different. I guess she's all grown up now, eh? Who was the girl that she used to hang out with, Lionel Richie's?
Nicole Richie.
Oh, yeah. So is she still around? Are they friends anymore? Or
I have no idea.
All right. So I thought you know everything. You know. Oh, Ben's going to chime in. Ben knows. All right. Hey, Ben. What do you think?
I was just calling Nick out. He knows.
Yeah. He's a Backstreet Boy fan. Come on. But actually, that's... anyway, the point here is... That's the NFT. That's the thing that is worth a couple $100,000.
Well, that's a printed version of it, but yeah.
You know, I think I saw Alex Sturck and Ubik guys. They're getting in on the. I don't know whether they call their things NFTs. I tweeted that out earlier. Would this be an NFT? Alex said, "Oh yeah, there you go." Physically redeemable NFT poster drops today. So I guess the Ubik guys are trying to get in on this too. I thought this was interesting. This one is the first by a 3D rendering artist. I got a whole bunch of Ubik lying around, so maybe I'll go and buy one of these things. I don't know. So, fascinating. Is that the same sort of thing? Is that the NFTs?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, a lot of projects kind of as a perk, they'll allow you to get a physical version of it, and some of them will mail it to you. Others will have various like vendors that you can order it from or something if you want.
Yeah, I like Ubic. They've done that before. They had a poster before, and it went very quickly. So, and actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think guys actually put together like an OpenSea thing for me and all my funny little images. But I've never really been able to do anything with that. I really should get that going. Probably do. Maybe, yeah, I mean, it's pretty damn hot. Costco, I guess maybe you might be able to help me. How the hell do we do this? I've already got them on here. I think I've shown you this before, haven't I? I don't know what the hell the page is, though. I always forget what the page is. It's weird, actually, because usually when I just type in OpenSea, it comes in here. Let's see if I just go... Yeah, see, I think it's like one of these things. Rational investor, there you go.
Yeah, so it's just open. Oh, that you want to get to yours?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, then it's right there.
That's it, eh?
Yep, it should be.
So I have no idea. We put them out there. I always wanted to get like a sort of a foundation going to go and buy a piece of land in like some warm place. Because keep in mind, Vancouver in the wintertime, it's damp, it's cold, it's rainy, it sucks. So anyway, I always thought it would be kind of cool to NFT these things out here. So somebody's already gone ahead and done everything. It's quite remarkable. But I wonder how we could spin that into. You know what, Sebastian? Where the hell are you? Does anybody know where Sebastian is? I mean, I hope to God you're not sick, or heaven forbid you passed. But man, he built a whole. Did you ever see that? He built a whole darn thing. I don't even know what you call it. Like the whole darn thing. He built it and then he just vanished. I'm so disappointed. Anyway. So, I guess Brian's going to try and do something with all this. So, you're telling me that this market is really hot right now, eh? Interesting. All right.
Yes, it is very hot.
So, I wonder how we screen for W's in proxies that can help us trade this. Because, would there be... Does that even make sense, what I just said?
Yeah, I don't do a lot of NFT analysis, but like on OpenSea, you can go to various collections and you can see volume or price over time. So you can it's not, as far as I know, there's not like trading view. You can't draw fibs and all this other stuff, but I could be wrong. I don't chart NFTs. I have only bought a few NFTs, and the ones that I have bought, I bought to kind of have utility of joining a community, where you need one of these NFTs to like get into a Discord for a certain community. And so I'm doing
maybe
it.
That's what we should do for TRI. We do the membership just through NFTs. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's I wanted to get into certain communities, so I bought them, and that's why I hold them. But I'm not a trader. I'm not the one to tell you how to.
Yeah. Anyway, it's kind of interesting. I suppose at some point, you guys are saying, this is the problem here. I think though is people are going to buy them. They're going to go, okay, now I've got my pet rock. Now what do I do? I don't know how much it actually translates into actually like people like actually buying and selling. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. So fascinating. So, your particular projects, like you said earlier, Derek, you're kind of big on the video hosting site. How's
Theta.
that all going?
Yeah, Theta. I mean, looking at the charts back in like 78.6 range, I think.
So it's right back down at the bottom of this range.
Yeah.
But you know what? I kind of find that the price of these assets doesn't really have anything to do with the development. It's really
in terms of development, I mean, they're doing a lot.
Yeah, so that's what
they have a lot of like NFT drops and things. They have something.
Oh, they do NFTs as well.
Yeah, they have something called Theta Drop.
Ah.
It's a website, and they have some celebrities on board, and like I know Katy Perry is like one of the bigger names that's on there. Katy
Cool.
Perry. And
Man, if
a
this
lot
thing
of
could
different
go
artists.
and W out here, that would be so pretty, eh?
Yeah.
Just nice saucer bottom. Just give me something like that. That would be awesome.
Well, yeah. It went too far too fast. They're up to what, $16 from.
Well,
like in a
yeah,
month.
and of course, is that natural, healthy growth? Probably not. You know?
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, but they're doing a lot in terms of even like big partnerships and things like that with video streaming companies and patents and that type of thing. So they're doing business. It's just
Right on. Well, it's. I mean, I got to tell everybody who's watching this. Derek is one hell of a stock picker. He's gave us another stock that I really liked last night. So I think I told all of you half of the reason why I built this site and this school was to build a research team. So it's working! Yay! Thank you, Derek.
yeah, no problem. Glad I could help.
And then all I do is I just have this totally vetted like universe, and then I just cycle through and just look for my W's, right? It's just that simple. So probably one to keep an eye on if you want to make some money at this. But is it a buy today? Maybe nanny nibbles kind of thing. Probably, like you said, it's now 78.6, eh?
Yeah, it's down there. Well,
Yeah.
getting toward 88.
The irony of it all is that, like I kind of
right, that little check there.
I wouldn't be surprised if you come back later on and you see that the bottom does come in right off that darn 78.6. Wouldn't surprise me at all. So, yeah, caveat emptor, but there it is. Ben, what's your coin that you like so much?
I'm pretty coin agnostic.
Well, it's not really a story that you like.
But yeah, I mean, I have been keeping my eye on like things like the whole unfolding of like the Ohm forks with Wonderland and yeah, all of the other variations. I think Ohm has tanked as well. So
What's that? OHM?
OHM. Yeah, but then also something else that's kind of been on the back of my mind lately is the idea of like a lot of like the level ones, like Solana or even Avalanche or Luna, like just how do they compare maybe this cycle to like Ethereum being like the new kid on the block in 2017, and what that top looked like, and are we seeing maybe something similar play out for those? But so I would be interested if, I don't know if any of you guys have done any analysis on that, or Brian, I know you've pulled up like Solana on a Sunday show a couple of weeks back and took a look at it, but
how would I
just from
look
that
at this
perspective-
OHM? Ooh, yuck, that doesn't look good.
Yeah,
That is the chart you want to look at.
that's the one. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, I don't know if you want to look at it, but that is the chart.
Yeah, that's a bad
Yeah.
sign.
So, Brian, this like Ohm is the same tokenomics high APY like time. So just all of these are just completely crushed.
Does that mean
Problem
that not
here
all-
is that it's going to be crushed, and then the regulators are going to come in and go, "See, I told you. This is why we have to regulate this space. Because look at, Granny Arbuckle from, Hoboken, New Jersey, threw her last $100 into crypto, DeFi. Now look at her. She can't go show her face in public. Whatever. You know how it goes. So it sucks how this becomes almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It drives you nuts. I mean, the irony of it all is that if you can just get some action like this, and then notice, gee whiz, what a surprise, the pullback right into reload zones, then hey, the orgy might just start right back up again. It's dangerous, the fact that when we're careening through here, we just keep slicing through new lows, new lows. Can't touch this thing until at least it starts Wing. Like I said, the fact that it went to new lows, that's not good. So, not really a hell of a lot to look at there. But, everybody watching this, right? The exact opposite of this scenario, reload zone buy. I mean, You could have said that that was a reload zone sell. And gee whiz, what letter of the alphabet? Staring you right in the face there. So as of this point, you got to be going, uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not good. The only problem, I mean, like what I like to do, just because, like I said, I'm chicken shit, and I don't really like to sell unless I have to, and that's where the whole sort of sell halves on doubles kind of thing. It's just the rule, so as a result, the trade's got to get done. How do you arbitrarily pick that this story's done, it's time to sell everything? I mean, hell, you could have said, well, Brian, that's an M. Why don't we sell everything there? Sure enough, the price crapped out, but then you got to jump right back in. If you miss this, maybe you're, sleeping or whatever, then you come back a month or two later and it's going up and up and up, and it's like, oh, God. So that's why I really like the sell halves on doubles kind of strategies where you always are long. Slongafol. Who's that? That's Kiran.
Bye for now.
Yeah. Anyway, so you're always long, and I can understand, that's difficult. Like, are you really going to come in and say, okay, well, that's a reload short zone. There's an M. Okay, I'm getting the hell out. I'm selling everything and abandoning ship. I mean, that's tough to do. I'm not going to say that's easy. It does make perfect sense why this thing topped in this level, though. Ironically enough, technically speaking, that's like just absolutely textbook. So, reload short zone. Boosh. Incredible. So, interestingly enough, the Harmonic guys, they might actually have a Harmonic down here working. I don't know. I do know that this does look to me like this was a bearish Harmonic. There to there to there to there to there. So up there, that would be a PRZ. I think that's a bat. I'm not positive. Something along those lines. And then getting the top coming in here at that level. But is this maybe, this low down here, there might be some sort of Harmonic down here. Like I'm thinking like there to there to there to there to like down here, and I think it's like 1.618. The guys in the harmonics room, they'd probably be able to answer that, but obviously it's not negative, but I'm not quite sure how that would be. Something like that. Anyway, Hafed, if you're watching this, you'll understand all that. You probably know what I'm thinking here, so I'll poke you tomorrow. Tell me if there is a harmonic working here, or a potential one. Steven's a harmonican. Igor, he's the evil harmonican. He's the evil harmonican. No, he's awesome. Well, all the harmonicans are awesome, but I want to just post this in the room and just see if they have anything to say. Is there a bullish harmonic potentially here? I'll just see what they say. So maybe we'll talk about that on the site tomorrow. PTSD of yeah, sure feels like that, Richie? It's interesting that actually you even remember that. So the good part about crypto is it is like the cutting edge of venture capital. So this stuff is up and down like a horse drawers. So just wait a couple of years. My hunch is, next year they wash the market out, just like they did in like 2014 and 2018. 2023 is the basing. Probably the Fed backs off eventually from their chokehold on the space, and the next generation of projects starts coming around. That wouldn't surprise me at all. It would make sense. And of course, Paris and Jimmy, they're going to make tons of money NFTing. So maybe get to know this stuff. Maybe the next generation is. We're going to be on OpenSea hunting for W's off of their charts. Maybe you'll find that and it really popular liquid NFTs are listed on TradingView. Who knows? Don't try and predict the future. I'll tell you, whenever you do, it always makes it look silly. So look at this, queries and charts on Twitter. So they're even showing charts here. So there you go. So I suppose this is the next sort of universe that we need to tap Sjord into. He's got to be able to download this data set now, All right, guys. I don't know. Let's see. I asked everybody for an idea. Nick, you did talk about time and all, but is there any other story in crypto that's got your attention now these days?
No, I just want to clarify something that Paul and Costco are arguing for in chat, is that because of the incredible APY that come with coins like Time and Ohm, you should really be looking at either a market cap chart or the wrapped token chart.
So something like this, is this the right way to look at it? Whatever that means.
No.
No. Oh, okay.
So if you there's no good way, I think, on TradingView to look at the market cap of this coin. There is a WS Ohm coin that you can see on Trader Joe, but it really only has from that D point on the Harmonic on. so there's not a lot of history that you can see, so there's not much you can do with it.
Well, then that's probably why this thing hasn't found a bottom, is all those people don't even realize there was support here at one point. When they look left on that coin, it just is straight line down. So,
I mean, it's not straight, but it's not.
Which one are you talking about here? You said Trader Joe, this one?
Sorry, WS Ohm. So add a WS on the beginning of that.
Like that?
Yeah, so that one right there. But it doesn't have a lot of history. It's just from...
Yeah, so here's a good example. Look left, At this point, they're looking, going, uh-oh. Show me a new low, and I'll show you a hoe. No, that's terrible.
But these wrap tokens, essentially what they'll do is let's say I bought some Ohm, and I'm getting more and more and more Ohm over time. This wrapped version essentially takes out the APY and it just adds it to the price of the wrap token. So this would be like if that very first candle is at about, let's just say 20,000. If I bought 20,000 worth of Ohm, you could follow this market cap or this wrap token price chart. And so I would have $5,500 now, because this includes all of those increased coins I've been getting in the price of this wrap token. There's no inflation of this token.
This just makes my head spin.
I know it's complicated. It's why I wasn't bringing it up earlier. But just to be transparent, if you want to chart kind of how you would have been doing if you were in this coin, you'd want to chart the wrapped version instead of the normal coin. I still think that there's value in
incorporates the payout that you're getting.
Yeah, it incorporates the interest you get. I still think though that
because this is the one thing I've been, like, no offense, love Sjord to death, hugs and kisses, but like you see like 20% now, 19.5%, right? They got rid of the 20. That was just too big of a bugaboo. So 19.5%, right? You see that kind of yield. That's almost one of those that's got to be too good to be true. And so the question here becomes, how does this story unwind? So it's fascinating. What you're saying is, if you do that sort of 20% yield on the Luna, you really should be looking at the value of it, incorporating that 20% payout into the price.
So the 20% is using stablecoins. It's not with straight up Luna.
Okay. So that's very different than this conversation.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Nick says wrapped is also much easier for tax purposes.
It is. I'm not a CPA, but essentially, as you're getting all of those new Ohm tokens or new time tokens, that's income in the US. Whereas if you have the wrap token, you still have the same number of tokens, so it's just a capital gain or loss whenever you sell it.
So an image like this, if I went and put in 20 G's, and what do you think the yield, quote unquote, would have been around here that got me so excited to buy this at 20 G's?
I haven't kept up with Ohm's APYs. I want to say they've been between like 5 and 10,000 for a while.
So now I'm sitting on $5,500. So my investment now it's like fallen.
It's fallen 75% roughly, 70 to.
So what happened to my wonderful yield?
I mean, you would have had more Ohm than you did when you started. It's just the prices went down even more.
So even with that massive payout, this chart could without
it's still
that,
going down.
It looks much worse.
Yes.
This is what I said. You know, I kept referencing ADA, the last cycle, and how people were doing the master nodes, and I felt so badly for this guy because he was just loading up on the and the worst part about it is now you can't even see those darn charts. Remember, I've had this conversation with you guys before. We want to go on Polo or something to at least get it. No, that's no good. Darn it. Anyway, do you guys remember this? Like I showed you, the setup his master nodes, and he was kicking butt, and maybe there we go. Yeah, see, it's 2018. So interesting, actually, versus probably versus Bitcoin's not the best thing to do here. But this is what I was worried about. A lot of people lost interest in their master nodes and all that kind of stuff down here. They just got flushed out of the market. So I'm fearful that, you've got that wonderful annual percentage rate of return, but, hey, you're saying I put 20 G's into this, and now my investment is worth $5,000.
Correct.
Oh, boy. Holy headache, Batman. Wow.
So I will say, I do think if we do have an extended bear market, if we have a bear market for a year or two, I think the protocols that will still be able to provide value to hold and get some APY on it will be ones that do not inflate their own token a lot. It'll be protocols that are actually producing a lot of revenue and revenue sharing that with the holders or with the stakers. And so how
do you produce revenue with this?
I mean, so for instance, something like Uniswap. I mean, Uniswap doesn't do this, but if we talk about Curve is an exchange, kind of like Uniswap, and they share their fees. So every time that somebody swaps any coins on Curve, they have to pay a small fee. And so they do millions and millions and millions in fees and help distribute that to people who are staking as well as supplying liquidity to their pools.
All right.
And so I think a lot of times it'll be some of these protocols that are actually making revenue that will be the ones that are safer to try to get yield on in a bear market versus something obviously like Ohm or Time, but even just other protocols that will incentivize providing liquidity and give you their own token in return, because that will just increase supply. And in a bear market, if you're getting free coins, you're probably just going to dump them, which is going to be some added sell pressure anyway.
Yeah, well, and like I said, that's basically what I think happened with that ADA was, people were farming and, very depressed. And, even to run the master nodes, I don't know whether there was a cost associated with that. But I distinctly remember that a lot of people were, do you guys remember, did any of you watch that video I did with Da Vinci a few years ago? And it was interesting. That was right at the bottom of the market. And we were having fun conjecturing whether Bitcoin would come back to its 50% rule. But all through here, and that was early 2019. You couldn't give this stuff away. You literally couldn't give it away. So if anything, what you have to be smart about this is just be patient. You know, fascinating. Look how this thing actually put in a cute little W right at the bottom there. And it's interesting how the market came back and actually put in W's right at the bottom there. So unfortunately, I just, it'd be nice if the names like this actually could show you where the bottom was. And if anything, it's a little disturbing that some of these names are now actually breaking through these bottoms. But what a good analogy, eh? Like, if this thing had come down here, and probably because they already went to the well, there was a bunch of buy orders that were sitting there that would have bought that level. They went to the well, and that's that rally. So when they went to the well a second time, nope, there aren't any more orders there. And down she goes. So that's a tough one. I think it's probably really, you know what, if anything, what we should do the next episode is we should maybe take a look at Ben's app. And I don't have it here. Where the hell do I have it? Nope. Nope. Over here. Hey, there we are. We should see whether what maybe we should talk as a group. Online. What do we want to do with this? Do we want to update it? Do we want to add functionality to it? I don't know. I'm curious. Actually, maybe even review some of the names. It's getting on 8 o'clock now, so it's a little bit late. But what do you think?
Yeah.
Or Nick, what do you think?
I was just gonna say in sometime soon down the line, if we think we might end up, well, according to that report, if we might see a bottom sometime in May or June, it might be good to just start from the top again and start drawing up levels we want to watch for in the coming months. And
yeah, I like that idea. All right. So maybe we'll attack this in earnest next meeting. Somebody, if you want to make note of that. Keep the Beamish in line. Quick little hello, and then we'll get to work.
that works for me.
All right, finish off tonight. Obviously, Nick's the big winner here this past week. So what are we going to do here, Nick? You've got the call. The fate of the capitalists are in your hands.
-1.
-1.
I almost threw out another -2.
Really? Oh. Well, we'll see whether your contrarian vote scores. But well done on your -2. Let's go next up. Top of the list there. Derek, what do you think's going to happen here?
I think we'll probably hang out here for a while. I'll get a 0.
A 0. All right.
Trying to put a 0 in. Let me see.
Oh, that's cool. And Ben, did I do that right? Yeah, I think I did that right. Ben, what do you think? Oh, man, -1, eh?
Yeah, I go -1.
2 -1s.
With the trend.
And 1 0. And it was interesting. The contrarian won last week. So if I go -1, then that means that the likelihood is probably we have an unchanged week, eh? And Derek wins.
So you're fibbing the number this time just so we can stay even.
Well, I don't know whether you're genuinely bearish or not.
Honestly, I was a little genuinely bearish last week, and probably not -2, but I do kind of like that megaphone theory, kind of sweeping some lows, getting people real scared, and then we end up going back up. And
yeah. The only problem is if anything, I feel as though the fear is palatable now in the market. Usually, I guess 1 week from now, kind of tough to say. So, we'll make our grand prediction here. I did find it fascinating. Like this is one of my most recent sort of crazy mad scientist kind of thinking. But I did like a stab into these levels here. That would validate this. So that is pointing lower. And what's the percentage move for -1 versus -2?
We said between 2 and 5% down is a -1, and anything more than 5% is a -2.
Oh, anything more than 5%. Eh? Whoop, boom.
So it's not a huge move. I mean, we might need to eventually.
I do like them setting up a trade off these candle body lows, but does that would be a great trade to set up like through the weekend. So, question is, are we pointing lower here through into next week? That's 7 days from now, eh? So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this is 12 hours, so that would be 14 bars. So that's all the way over there. Well, so that means we're going to go through all of this before we see each other again. So we're going to be over here now. Yeah, I think I'll go with -1. I got a feeling we're still going to be working lower. So that means we should be unchanged for next week. But what the hell? All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for a fantastic evening, as always. It's a lot of fun hanging out with you guys, talking markets. Is that color right there? Or, I guess that's that color, right?
All I ever do is I just highlight one of the other negative ones, and there's like a format painter button you can click.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
okay.
yeah, so I just do that every time.
Smart. Oh, there you go. Between 2 and 5%. It's -1. All right. Okay, well, that's 8 o'clock. So, any closing thoughts? Derek, Ben, well, Nick, anybody have anything you'd like to share before we say goodnight to these good people?
I don't know. I go back to kind of you talking about maybe we bottom late spring. Like 4 months is not that long to wait and to sit on your hands. So if that's what it takes, that's what it takes.
Yeah. That decennial chart, let's see if we can just quickly find that.
I like the political narrative behind that chart as well. The idea that, the Fed goes quiet, pulls back on everything, and then ramps everything back up at the end of the year.
Yeah. Is it the Fed that causes this? Oh, God, I don't know. But this is Larry Williams' work, but it's Edgar Lawrence Smith was the original creator of this. That looks like it's about halfway through, eh? Somewhere about mid-year. So, and we always say, you know what this is right here? What do you think this date is right here? Let's see if you guys can play connect the dots.
That's Memorial Day.
I'm gonna say your birthday.
No, your
Nailed
birthday's
it.
not the end of May. Your birthday is like the start of that first hump in May.
A sell signal.
Man, the market almost always tops right on my goddamn birthday. It's ridiculous. It did it last year. It was like almost
funny.
textbook. It was ridiculous. And if anything, what a perfect birthday gift for Brian. Hey, yeah, Brian, hey, we're going to let you issue a buy signal. There's W's, right? You're a W guy, right? And then bang! Slam you right in the face. Kind of like what happened last week. Probably exactly the same trade developed right on my birthday. That wouldn't surprise me one bit. So, where are we in this mess? It looks like, to me, the middle of March, we're going to get slammed. Then like April, mid-May, maybe it is Memorial Day weekend, whatever. Sell in May, walk away. One more slamming into sort of the, like June. And really, what would this holiday weekend, hint, 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 you, all three of you better know this, or you get your citizenship revoked. What holiday weekend do you think that is?
Was it like hot dogs, hamburgers, and baseball?
Firework Day.
Yeah. Actually, is that how you celebrate
No,
4th of
I think
July?
that's like the classic sort of way.
I feel like there's a lot of alcohol and fireworks on the 4th of
yeah,
July.
alcohol and fireworks
Alright.
probably more or less than
Fair enough.
other things.
And parades, but
And parades too. Yeah.
Yeah, the 4th then that weekend.
Yeah. So and if anything, that makes perfect sense. Because all of you, like, everybody's going to be like, oh my God, this was such a shitty fucking, COVID experience, all that stuff, right? And oh my God, what a bear. And oh my God, inflation's terrible. And you're all going to sort of circle the wagons, wrap yourselves in the flag, right? And just kumbaya, my lord, kind of thing. That to me is what I think is going to happen here. Anyway, what the hell? Just predicting. If anything, the one thing I can almost always predict is the market loves to top right around my birthday. So just be forewarned, everyone. If there is going to be any kind of seasonal rally, sell in May and walk away, it usually tops in and around my birthday. So, okay, why don't we leave it at that? Thank you so much to my panel, Derek, Nick, and Ben. Thank you to the site members for fantastic support, and of course the team, all of our instructors. Geez, we're getting turned. This is turning into quite a big experience here. So thank you to everybody for making this happen. Jojo, we've made this a reality. I hear time and time again that we are making a positive difference in this world. So that's the whole point of this. If you feel like supporting our endeavors on social media, that was half of the sort of objective of this program to begin with. I wanted to create a sort of a place on Decentraland to just put like a little hut or something and just have these videos running 24/7 so anybody can just walk along and see them playing. So we do have a ETH wallet set up for that mana drive, and there's been a number of you that have contributed. So thank you very much, and that's sort of your way to show us, if you want to monetarily show us that you appreciate these shows. We'd appreciate it. Tell a friend. We have the school program already up and running, so if you are interested in sort of learning how to build and run your small business of trading, you're going to have to wait till probably the late spring, early summer for our next intake, but we got a whole new slew of people on the site, rocking and rolling, pretty big class, so thank you very much for the universe for allowing us to even have this opportunity. So, rock and roll, PMA for the win. All the best. Don't take no wooden nickels. And who's going to take us on out of here? I think, Nick, actually, you really talked the most here tonight, so I'm going to let you take us on out of here. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Hugs and kisses, loves and everythings. And the only thing left for the TRI crew here tonight to say to you good people is...